You know, I would make sure I called her every 4 or 5 days, checking up with her because I knew this was a hot lead. I was able to get this under contract for $70,000 and assign it to my cash buyer for $83,500, so making an assignment fee of about $13,500. What's up YouTube, it's Matthew here and welcome back to my channel. Now before we go on to the breakdown of this video, I just want to let you all know I filmed this video earlier this month when I closed on the property, and so I still have hair. I hadn't gotten my hair cut yet, so I will look a little bit scruffy and a little bit different, but actually $13,200 if you can focus. And that was closed on 3/4/2020, and that's my company, Stonewater Realty LLC. And number two is that down in the description down below you'll see a link to my website for different business t-shirts. This is one of them. Has business 3 times in black, gray, and white on this really good material, very soft material t-shirt. If you all are wanting to support this channel and support this movement, I have t-shirts like that, some that just have the black print, some that have just a gray print, but it says business with a Z because of Biz Matthew and whatnot. So click down below in the description. It will be the first link in the description down below so you all can check it out to support this channel, and copy yourself a t-shirt to show your entrepreneur passion and your life and business right now. So without further ado, enjoy this video. What's up YouTube, Biz Matthew here and welcome back to my channel. In today's video I have another wholesale deal for you all on how I just closed this property, or how I'm going to close on it for just over $13,000. Now before we go on, be sure to subscribe, comment down below, and like this video. And comment down below how is your wholesaling business doing? Are you all working on the deal right now? Have you gotten your first deal yet? Hopefully I can inspire you all and just help you all with any tips I can down in the comments down below. And be sure to like this video so this channel can become more discoverable, and also subscribe. There's a lot of people who watch this channel but haven't subscribed, so I'm asking that you all subscribe. All right, so just for transparency, you all, I'm about to close on this deal in about 2 to 3 days. And if anything changes, I will let you know. So let's head inside so I can break down the deal for you all. All right, you all, so we're in the house. Hopefully the sound is a little bit better outside. There was some dogs barking, people playing outside. So I want to come inside and just show you all and tell you all how I got this deal, the breakdown of this wholesale real estate deal. So obviously I have access to this house, and this is one of the few deals where the seller, once I signed the contract, she just handed me over the key and say, okay, it's basically yours. She doesn't live in the property, and you know, I had access to show it to cash buyers whenever I wanted, and to show it to any other people, and to film a video in here. So it's just really good developing that relationship with your seller. You know, show that, hey, you can trust me in the way you talk and your tonality and different things, and just assuring everything step by step and you fulfilling on your word from day one. And so I encourage you all just to develop a trust with your sellers, and that's just by building rapport and just by backing your word. Say, hey, I'm not the one buying your house. I work for investors and other things like that. So let's break down this deal. Number one, how did I get this deal? Where is my lead source? What lead source? So number one, this is kind of different because I was actually driving for dollar how I got a lead. And I've been sending mail to this particular owner, but she had a friend who owns this house that she gave the car to. So I guess I got it technically through driving for dollars, through a referral from a driving for dollars lead. And what happened with this lead is that she called me, she listened to my voicemail, and then I called her back immediately, said, hey, okay, what's the situation? And this is the situation. Basically, she owned this house for like over 20 years with her previous husband. And then when she got remarried, she moved out of this house and went to live in a different area, probably half an hour away with her new husband. And with her new husband, what they were doing with this property was just trying to rehab it. So you'll see throughout this house, there's different projects. I mean, a lot of the house is completely done. Just the kitchen and the bathroom has to be done, but they were just working on it over a few years, doing things here and there. And unfortunately, her husband actually died. He passed away, and she was looking to sell. She was like, hey, I have this house. My husband passed away. I don't want to deal with with finishing, renovating it, and different things like that. And so she called me. And so I talked to her, spoke with her about the situation. She said she's talking to other investors, or she's reaching out to other realtors. I was like, okay, perfectly fine. We may not be the best fit for you, but I can assure you this will be a very smooth transaction and you will really enjoy this process. So that's the situation. Her husband passed. They were working on this house as a side project, doing things here and there, and she wanted to get rid of it now. So this was all over phone or over text, and we started talking about price. Now, she told me that she was hearing from other investors and realtors, but I was the only one who was being persistent in my follow-up. I would make sure I called her every 4 or 5 days, checking up with her because I knew this was a hot lead. And the other people she was saying was just not keeping up with her, not following up with her, not even calling her back. So I'm all like, wow, at least I have persistent. I may not have the best price or the best terms of things, but I'm convenient, I'm persistent, I'm here, I'm present, trying to help you and find a solution for your problem. So anyways, this property is probably worth around 140, all fixed up. And I first came with her with a price of, we started discussing price. She said she owed around 40,000 and that she wanted, I believe she was saying around 90 for the property, and honestly, I could have made it work because this property is really good, but there's a lot of yard work that needs to be done and different other things in the kitchen and bathroom needs to be done. But, when she did that, I said, hey, I would love to give you that. I wouldn't be around that price range. My bottom line, my top offer is $70,000. Is that something you would consider? And so there's different approach saying your offer. Some people say just say it and be quiet. Some people, you have to gauge the type of seller you're dealing with. If they like to talk, you'd be like, is that something you would consider? Knowing that you can have a little bit of wiggle room. So I said $70,000. She said, I don't know, I'll think about it. Followed up with her again. She says, hey, I'm talking to other investors, so I'll think about it. Follow it up with her again for a few more days, right? And then finally, we stopped talking about price, and I just started talking about her and her situation, what's happening. And I was like, hey, I would love to come by and meet you in person and see the property because I still haven't seen the property yet. So we scheduled an appointment on a Sunday morning, and I met her here. And we just talked. We talked about, the situation, what she was going through, and, the community that she used to live here. And, she has a lot of friends and people from church and other things like that. And I was able to connect with her and build rapport and provide her a solution. And so finally, at the end of the conversation, I was like, hey, I want to get the ball rolling on this. Is it okay if we can sign the agreement today so I can start getting the title search done and things like that? And mind you, of course, as you all know, I'm very upfront with my sellers. I say, hey, I'm not the one buying your house. I work with investors and flippers around the area, and I present deals to them. So if we can get an agreement signed today, that gives me the opportunity to show this property to them. And this gives me the head start on the title work, getting a title search and other things like that. So I'm not the one bringing the money to the table. I have investors doing that. And so that's how I phrase it, basically, because I can say I'm a wholesaler, but a lot of people don't know what that is. If they did, I would say it. But that's just a better way for me to explain it for them. And yeah, so basically she agreed. She gave me a code access to the garage. She gave me a spare key. She gave me access to the property to show investors and other things like that. And I was so ecstatic. We got the paperwork signed. I scanned it, emailed it to her, and I called up a buyer. So yeah, I called up a buyer. So the first buyer I reached out to, I was working with him with another deal and a property that I thought was in foreclosure, and he agreed on the price and everything, but I found out it was in foreclosure and everything. And I wanted to really create this network with him. And so I called him up, and I know I probably left money on the table by not blasting it out to all my cash buyers or posting it on Facebook, but I wanted to really create a connection with him. And, because of that last deal that kind of went off and bad, not for my fault, but just lack of information, I presented him with this deal, a very, very similar style house and everything. And I called him up and said, hey, I was texting him, and I was like, hey, I have this property. Are you interested? Sent him the address. He looked at it. He was like, okay, yeah, let's schedule an appointment. We scheduled an appointment the very next day. He walked through it. A lot of this property is completely done. Don't you see like the wall? There's, construction stuff. So they know people have been working on it, and it's actually good quality work. And I think when it's your own home, like the previous owners, they were working on it themselves, and you may think, oh, they don't have the skills. But usually when the homeowners themselves work on their properties, they put more time and effort and quality behind everything and make sure everything is done right. Sometimes with contractors and construction workers, it's like a belt. They just do it. And, they're not as clean and with it. But, they actually did a decent job. And so he looked at the property. At first I was advertising it for $85,500 with me paying the seller's closing costs. That's why I added that extra $500. He said he'll let me know, whatever. And then later that day, he texted me and said, hey, we can do it for $80,000. I signed all the papers today. Now, I was a little bit tempted to take it. I was like, okay, 10 grand. I'll have him pay the seller's costs. That would be cool. But I stuck by my guns, and I just sent him a text saying, I really worked hard for this deal, and I know this is a good deal. But if anything, I can't do 80,000. If anything changes, I will let you know. Thanks. Just a simple text like that. And he called me and he was like, hey, how's it going? I do want this house. What's something we can work out? And, he was like, because he's an investor, and investors like myself, we don't like giving what people want for the property, even if it's a perfect price. It's just in our mindset as entrepreneurs and investors to try to save a penny from a deal. So I was like, okay, fine. I'll take 2 grand off of the price, and I'll pay the seller's costs, because I really wanted to create this network with him. And I know, I probably left money on the table, but especially around this area, I know these people here in the South, they're very big on creating ties with people and other things like that. But at the same time, I am running a business. So, I put it down to $83,500 with me paying the closing costs for the seller, which is $150 for a closing cost and $100 for something. So I'm gonna get $13,200 from an assignment fee. So basically, we signed all the papers, and this is my first time working with a cash buyer who's using a hard money lender also. So with this process, he had to get an appraisal out. He had to get verification from his hard money lender and everything like that. And so had to schedule that and everything. The appraiser got in and gave him access to the property, which is the garage code. He came inside, did all of that a few days ago. And I had the cash buyer put a $2,500 earnest money deposit on the property. And and so he sent me a text recently saying, yeah, we got it all in. We're bound to close this Tuesday or Wednesday. And while I'm filming this is a Sunday. So, so he was on top of everything. I was a little hesitant working with a hard money lender. Are they going to be like, oh, this is not actually worth this amount of money or anything? So, so I was able to get it under contract for $40,000. I was able to get this under contract for $70,000 and assign it to my cash buyer for $83,500, so making an assignment fee of about $13,500. And this property is worth around $140,000. And the property has no major repairs. The yard just needs to be done, and the kitchen and the bathroom. And that's pretty much it, and you can finish the basement also. So I hope you all really enjoyed this video. Once again, comment down below if you all have any questions. Like this video and subscribe. I thank you all for the support of this channel, and yeah, hopefully I'll see you all soon. Also subscribe, because I'm going to have a separate video just showing the layout of this property and the type of properties that you can target as a wholesaler. I'll tell you all how they kind of were rehabbing this property, and they did a lot of work already. So be sure to stay tuned for that. And I'll have a separate video just showing the title process, me going to the title company, collecting the check, filming as much as I can of that process so you all can better understand it.